Yeah. Let's do it. If you know you got favor on your life, sing this.
I love it. The favor of God is all over me.
Yeah.
I got it, and I love
I got it.
the favor of God is all over me. I got it, and I love it. The favor of God is all over me. I got it, and I love it.
Favor.
The favor of God is all over me.
And I ain't even asked for this, y'all.
And it ain't my fault.
Hey, yeah. Why you mad at me?
And it ain't my fault.
I want to do that again, A-Rod. Say, I got it. Yeah.
And I love it.
Favor.
The favor of God is all over me. I got it, and I love it. The favor of God is all over
I
me.
got it.
I got it, and I love it.
You love it?
The favor of God is all over me. I got it, and I love it.
God gave it to me. It's all over me. And it ain't even my fault.
And it ain't my fault.
Hey. Yeah. If you know favor's on your life, say,
And it ain't my fault.
favor ain't fair, but it surely is fun. Say, it ain't
And it ain't my fault.
my fault. It's like favor be stalking me, y'all.
And it ain't my fault.
Listen, we got a verse. It says this, say, God gave it to me.
God gave it to me. His favor never stops following me.
He's got his hand on me.
Got his hand on me. That's why no weapon formed against me shall
And we ain't giving up.
We ain't never giving up.
We keep it moving.
Even though it comes to strengthen us.
And I know that it shows
It shows
everywhere.
everywhere that I go.
Say, I got it.
I got it, and I love it.
Yeah.
Favor of God is all over me. I got it, and I love it.
The favor.
Favor of God is all over me. I got it, and I love it. The favor of God is all over me. I got it, and I love it. The favor of God is all over me.
I need you to say it ain't my fault.
Good
morning. Good morning. How are you doing this morning, Gary?
I am doing good.
All right, that is good. I am doing good too. Just trying to take care of some business right quick before I got on the show.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep,
I'm
but
just praying that the internet holds up.
I know, because backstage we was having a little bit of issues.
Yes,
Good morning,
ma'am.
everybody. Good morning, Sherry and Amanda Doretta.
Yes.
I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Good morning, Jennifer.
Morning. Good
Yes.
morning, Amanda, Miss Doretta.
And
Jennifer.
here is Oreo. He just came up
Good
in here.
morning, Oreo.
Come on.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, y'all, good morning, motivational guy.
Good morning,
Thank you for
motivational
joining
guy.
us. Today's the last day, Dr. J, of our
Yes.
financial literacy month.
Mhm.
And it's going to be good today. We're going to be
Yes.
talking about budgeting. And good morning, Kevin. Good morning.
Oreo says good morning.
There's Oreo. We're going to have to get him his own chair
Yes.
and his own
But
mic.
you know, he doesn't want to get on until the show comes on, because
Until the show
any other time he don't even want to be bothered with us.
And we was just talking about that, Dr. J, before we went on the air, that we're going to have to do a behind the scenes live before we go on the air, because you don't even hear Oreo. You don't hear him. You don't see him. Then the show start, and here he comes.
Right, exactly.
Good morning,
Exactly.
Jack B, Lady J.
Good morning, Jay, Lady J.
Let me tell you something. Lady J, he was the CEO of Eagle Entertainment and JQLM Radio.
Yes.
They are doing it big. They are down in Atlanta.
Yes, they are.
For Gospel Awards. She is heading up the red carpet event. So if you guys have any special events coming up and you need a planner, I promise you, Lady J will take care of it. Lady J, can you tell me which gospel awards it is? Because I can't remember off the top of my head, but they are down in Atlanta handling that this weekend. And happy birthday. And happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday, Lady J. Looking gorgeous. I saw
Looking
your
for-
beautiful birthday gift, girl. Go with it. That is beautiful.
Yep. So happy birthday to Lady J, and thank you again for the opportunity for us to air on JQLM Radio and also on Ego Entertainment. But
Yeah.
Dr. J,
Yes.
before we give it over to Niles and Caleb, it's the 27th annual Gospel Music Awards.
Choice. The Gospel Choice Music Award.
Oh yeah, Gospel Choice Music Awards.
Mm-hmm.
But Dr. J, how was your week?
Oh, so my week was amazing. Oreo, my week was amazing. Look, let me tell you all, I have applied some of the tools that have that Niles and Caleb has given us, and I went on Thursday and purchased a 2017 GMC Terrain. And when I tell you that I was empowered, I felt confident. Just by the things that they were talking about, I felt knowledgeable. That some of the things that they were telling me, I kind of knew what questions I needed to ask and didn't sound right to me. And then I just once the deal was starting to go through and everything, and they told me what my pricing was going to be. I also was thinking out loud, and the finance manager, he sat there at the table across from me while I sat and kind of worked it out, processed it in my head, and he was like, "She has a plan," and I can only say thank you to this budgeting seminar we've been doing, to Gary, Caleb, and Niles, because I really and truly felt empowered. I felt really good about the decision that I made, how I came up with the decision. First of all, I let me take I out of it, because it was God. It was no way I could have gone to the dealership, because I went there to get something else, and it didn't work out. They didn't have what I wanted. And so the young lady showed me two others, and the one that I thought I didn't want because I thought it was too big, I clearly heard God's, because I kept telling her, I said, I think that's too big for me. I think it's too big for me. And I clearly heard God say, try it. And when I got in it, I felt comfortable. I felt good about it. I told my daughter while we were getting ready to go out of the parking lot of the place while we were test driving, I said, this is it. This is the one I'm going to take. And so, but I thank God, because I could not have done it without him and his leadership and guidance. And I thank him for putting Gary and Caleb and Niles in my life at this time, so that I could be empowered and know the knowledge and the terminology of everything that I needed that helped me close this deal. So this seminar has been amazing for me.
Yes. Dr. J, I'm so excited. The wife knows it's 10 o'clock and I'm on the air. So why is she trying to call me while I'm on the air?
Because
I hope everything's okay. So we'll see what she texts back. But what I'm going to do, I'm so happy. My heart is full of joy. There's the wife.
There's the wife. Hey, Lady C.
Lady C. Now, I was on the air and you up here calling me.
She said, I know, sorry.
So, um, I'm just what I'm going to do is because I want to get them started. I'm going to go ahead and bring them on, and I don't want
Okay.
to talk about my week to this week. But what I do want to do is I'm going to bring them on right now because I want to look at them and just take 5 minutes out of how my week was and just say thank
Yes.
you, thank you, Niles, thank you, Caleb. You
Yes.
guys are a true blessing
Oh yeah.
Yes.
to us all. Thank you for coming on Morning Coffee with the Word and sharing your knowledge, the things that you've learned, the things that you guys went to college for, to help inspire.
Mhm.
Um, have a good one, Lady J.
Bye
And
bye, Lady J.
yes, everyone go download JQLM radio app. Um, but we appreciate you both.
Yes.
I know that we're going to do some things in the future um, for all of us, but you guys have touched our viewers. Um, Dr. J is a great example of
Yes.
just the putting things into motion
Yes.
and understanding the importance of credit and financial awareness and what you can do with your credit. So I thank you again. Um, this time I'm going to turn it over to both
And
you. Yes,
Gary,
ma'am.
can I just let Caleb and Niles know? Did you all hear the conversation that Gary and I were just having just a moment ago? Niles, Caleb.
About your new car
One more
purchase?
time. What you say?
Yes, about the
Mm-hmm.
car. Did you hear
Yes.
the conversation?
Oh
Congratulations.
yeah.
You know
Congratulations.
what? I never, and this is definitely a compliment to you two gentlemen that at the age of 61 I'm learning things that maybe I should have learned years ago, but I
Hey.
didn't. But because of what you all have been doing the last 3 weeks with us, I use that, and I've never felt more confident and more empowered. Like I walked in there like a boss. And some of the things that they were saying, usually I let my daughter take over that part because she understands all of that. But because of the empowerment that you all have given me and taught me, baby, I walked out of there 45 minutes later with a 2017 Terrain. Okay.
Amen.
I
Yeah.
That's the
went
whole
in
goal.
there
That
to
is the
buy
whole
a
goal.
compass. I went to buy a compass. God said, not so. I didn't want the Terrain because I thought it was too big. But when I got in and drove it, I said, this is it. So all I was looking for was 4 wheels and remote start. So he gave me 4 wheels, remote start, heated seats, a sunroof, the whole
Mm,
pack, lifetime warranty. You
Hey.
you all are amazing.
that is
Thank
a
you,
whole
thank
goal.
you, thank
Congratulations.
you.
I'm so happy. Our whole
Yes,
goal is for people to use this information and be able to have those
Congratulations,
tools
Dr.
to
J.
use. So
thank
happy,
you.
happy to hear that people are actually using it, and
Yes,
it's proven. We know it works, but we're happy to see people actually use this
I
information.
did. I promise you. I've bought. This is the since my divorce. This is my second second car that I've purchased, I think, where I had to go in and talk to them or whatever. And the fact, let me tell you, that I had no idea about when my daughter told me about it and I did it, and then Gary mentioned it too, was to be pre-qualified. I knew nothing about that. And so I did that. I took the information with me and it just went, from there. And I just can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you. That you know again, being as old as I am and learning some things that now that can help me the duration of my life, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. But y'all just don't know, Caleb and Miles, that the the Lord's getting ready to open up doors for y'all. The Lord's getting ready to open up doors for y'all.
Yes, he
And you definitely have a partner, uh, a person that will support you
Mm.
100%.
You have
Uh,
two people.
and Dr. J is right there along with you. And I know there's another viewer watching, and she's a huge supporter. She went out and even purchased some stocks because of I think it was the first show that we did with Caleb and Niles. You couldn't join us that week because you had another engagement. But gentlemen, I want you to know whatever we can do to help push this along and help build your brand, get this financial literacy out there. We're all for it. Caleb, me and Caleb even talked. I said, Caleb, this is one thing, and Dr. J will also, because Dr. J is a preacher. Uh, we might not be able to touch many, but if we touch one, and you use your mouthpiece to put what God gave you to put out there,
Yes,
and you touch that one person, just know you did exactly what God wanted you to do.
exactly.
So
Hey,
that's
that's it.
that's huge. But I don't want to take up too much more of your time because I want to get through this budgeting PowerPoint that Niles is getting ready to go over, um, and it's in your guys' hands. So let me go ahead and pull
Let's
this
get it.
up. Let's do this, and we're going to put y'all up top because this is all y'all. Okay, go ahead. I'm going on mute.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for having us. Today we're going to talk about budgeting, how you can budget your way to financial freedom. So we'll go over what budgeting is, the importance of it, how it's changed over the last, I guess, 20 years, and some other the steps and some tips that we've come up with to kind of help you guys along the way. So if you have the next slide, we'll just start off with what is budgeting. And so budgeting is it's estimating your future income and your future expenses to give you a spending plan. It helps you to create a plan of what you're going to buy, what you need, what you want, how you're going to allocate all of that money that you have coming in over the next coming periods. So it's kind of a financial workout plan is what I like to use as an analogy. So if you have different workout goals, your fitness goals, you're gonna alter your workout plan, how you eat, and your diet depending on what your goals are. So the same way with a budget. So if you have a certain financial goal, whether that's increasing your savings, putting money to investing, if you want to pay down debt, there's a different type of budget for every person out there. And no two people's budget are going to be the same. These budgets are going to alter depending on a person's lifestyle, their income, what other obligations that they have going on. So no two persons budgets are going to be the same. It will all change depending on the person's circumstances. So if we want to go over to the next slide, we'll look at the importance of it. So budgeting, it helps you prioritize your monthly spending, right? So you prioritize the bills that are due first over the things you want to do, and then you also have this other aspect of savings. So things saving for the future, things that you want to do right now, and things that you have to get paid, right? So we talked about in previous weeks how not paying your bills, that's going to hurt your credit score. So budgeting is a way that you can make sure that you always have your money for your bills. You don't have to stress about your bills getting paid because you know that money is there. It's already set aside. So when that bill comes due, you can already go ahead and pay it. Or if it's on your credit card, boom, move that money over to your credit card to pay off your credit card. It also, like I said, helps you keep you focused on your financial goals. It looks at all of your bills to make sure that you're keeping focused on those bills that are paid first. Also increasing your savings, and it's also a way to highlight your unnecessary spending. Those habits that you don't necessarily realize until you kind of sit down and break down your finances and your budget. That's a way to highlight, wow, I'm spending way too much money on restaurants during this month. I'm spending way too much money, on entertainment or going out with friends or doing this or that. This is a way to look back at previous months, notice your trends, and be able to change those trends going forward to help you reach those goals of yours. So if you go to the next slide, so we'll look at the new age of budgeting, as I like to call it. So, old ways of budgeting were, using pen and paper, with a budget sheet. You have your expenses, you have your income. I got this bill, and you're writing down all the expenses. You're keeping all of your receipts to write down how much you spent for this category. Using a calculator to calculate how much money do I have left in this certain category for this month. So that was the old age of budgeting. This new age of budgeting, it's all on your phone. It's all digital. So it's all in budget apps, or it's on the computer. You can use Excel if you're good with Excel. But it's a lot easier now to budget, not to track your expenses, because these budgeting apps, they'll connect to your bank account. It'll connect to all of your bills that you have in your account, and it will automatically link your bills to your account. It'll link your income. So when you get paid, it'll tell you that you got paid. I don't think anyone needs to get told that they got paid, but it'll let you know if you did get paid. It'll say, hey, this bill is coming up in the next 2 weeks. This is what you have due. And then it'll also keep you focused on whatever savings goal that you have. So for example, my girlfriend and I, we did a challenge for 2021 to save $3,000 by the end of the year. And it alters every week, paying moving $44 over your savings, moving $80 over into your savings. So I have a financial goal in my Mint app that it keeps me on track, saying, all right, you need to have saved this much money this month to reach that end goal of $3,000 by the end of the year. It'll give me updates and it'll give you notifications to keep going. Like, good job, you saved this % of what you meant to save. It'll also give you notifications on certain budgets throughout the month, and it will tell you, hey, you have this % of your budget left, or if you've used this much of your budget. See if you are on track, or if you're over, or if you can change certain things. So it's a lot easier now to budget. It's not as tedious as it used to be. You don't have a lot of receipts laying around that you got to keep organized. There's a lot less organization because these apps, they'll do it for you, right? So it's so easy now. It's to the point that it's too easy to not have a budget for yourself. So next, we will look at the budget steps. And if anyone has any questions, please go ahead and stop me. This is a picture of the Mint app. So this is an example of all of the expenses that someone will have in their account during the month. It also shows your credit score. It'll keep track of your credit score. And it also shows those factors that we talked about that have an impact on your credit score. And then it'll tell you, how much money you're spending on subscriptions, different ways that you can look at all of your expenses to notice trends and notice what you should be spending your money on and what you don't necessarily need to be spending your money on.
Niles, I know that when you were talking about how to budgeting and looking at how much money you spend, that's what one of the things that I said on last week, that I noticed that with me being single, that I was spending way too much money eating out. And, as smart, but as dumb as I am, I'm thinking, why is it that I don't have enough money? I have money for everything else, but I don't have enough money to buy grocery. And so I'm looking at it, and I sat down and did it just for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, Linda, look how much money you're spending, just eating out. So after I realized that, I only eat out once a week now. It's Eat Out Wednesday. And so on that, the money that I'm saving, then that's my grocery money. So
Yep,
yes,
exactly.
budgeting and having a strategy, that has helped me. So you are
Hmm.
exactly right. Yeah.
And that is a big part of, setting a budget, is looking back and be like, I'm spending a lot of money in this place, I'm spending a lot of money in that place. Let's see if we can shrink that down a little bit, kind of stay focused on what we should be spending the money on. And you will realize how much money you'll save by actually focusing on staying within a limit within each category, because that'll make you more cautious about what you're actually spending your money on. I was like, do I really need this? Do I really need to spend this money, or do I just want it? So, going back, you said, and going back through your eating out and your restaurant budget, that was huge for me too. I was looking at my expenses for all of 2020, beginning of this year, and I was like, I spent how much on restaurants? I was like, I was at home all this time, and I'm just spending money going out to eat on different things like that. So that was a big thing for me in changing my spending habits as well. Caleb, did you have any experiences with budgeting, or how you have changed your budget to help with your goals? You on mute, Caleb.
You're on mute. You're on mute, Caleb.
Oh shoot, can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
So I've always been inside of that budgeting type of tip, man. Ever since I was little, I'm a cheap guy. That's how I got to where I am myself. I learned the wisdom from a lot of my older individuals and mentees that I was around. If you save today, it will save your butt tomorrow, is what they would always say. So for me, I would, like, whenever I wanted to take a trip, I would make sure, hey, I buckled down. I save, X, Y, and Z per month. I remember specifically inside of college, I wanted to go and take my first trip out of the country. And so I was saying, hey, I would go and help somebody out or do some consulting, and I would save $50 each and every time. And so that $50 would add up, and then I was able to purchase my plane ticket. And so I was like, oh well, it's this easy to just save, and to be able to learn how to not spend on certain things. But as I gotten as I've gotten older, specifically with living on my own, saying, hey, I'm not going to eat out this much a week. And I'm going to make sure, hey, I save at least $500 a month, um, to go towards my savings every single month. If I got this, hey, I don't need to go out this weekend, or hey, I don't need to go, travel here or go and do those things. So yeah, that's how it's impacted me and how I've used it to flourish in my time.
Cool. That's exactly leading to our budget strategies, which it sounds like for Caleb, zero-based budgeting was the main strategy for him, especially with saving for large spending months and going on vacation. Zero-based budgeting, it focuses on giving every expense a dollar amount. So for your income amount, every dollar is assigned to a category, whether that's your savings, groceries, your rent or your mortgage, um, your gym memberships, whatever subscriptions you got. Every single dollar that you have coming in, it goes to a certain category, right? So your income minus your expenses equals zero. Um, and like Caleb said, this helped him with preparing and saving to go on vacation. This can help you to save, ahead of big spending months. So say if you have the holidays coming up, you want to put some money aside ahead of time. So when the holidays come, you have the money ready to go ahead and spend on gifts for your loved ones, or, purchase whatever certain things that you want to get. It can also help you to create a plan for each month. It helps to, look at, okay, we got this much coming in. All right, this month might be different than the last couple of months because I have this expense due. I got this to renew. So let me go ahead and plan ahead. This category we're going to increase, or we're going to maybe eat out a little bit less than we normally allot to ourselves because we got this expense that's coming in. Um, and that's how I try and look at my stuff too. So I'll go at in the beginning of the month and I'll look at, okay, let's see. So what do we have this month? Do we have any, one-off things that are coming up that we gotta include into our budget? Do we have bills that are coming in that are less than usual? Do we have, this expense or that expense? We're going out of the country, we're going on vacation. And then that's how I'll determine, what I can allow myself to spend on each category. The next type of budgeting strategy is the 50-30-20 budget strategy. You can go on to the next slide because this really will show the 50-30-20 strategy. So this strategy, it allocates 50% of your income goes to all of your bills. So bills and the needs, that's what you have to actually pay. This is, if you don't pay, it's gonna hurt your credit score, or you're gonna have no lights, this or that. So 50% goes to that. 30% of your income will go to things that you want. So this is things like your subscriptions, your Apple Music, Spotify subscription, your gym membership, going out to eat with friends, going out to the bars, hanging out, things that you want to do but don't necessarily need to. You don't need these to live. So that's the second category. And these two categories, you can alter the percent each one gets. If your bills are less than 50%, you can decrease that category a little bit to maybe 35%. These percentages can change, but you need to make sure that your expenses are equaling 80% or less of your income, right? Because we still want to have 20% or more that's going into our savings, going to pay off our debt, going to investments that we want to make. So what I would recommend is your wants really should not move at all. If anything, your wants should take up a smaller percentage. And the main goal to me is you want to increase that savings and debt repayment part as much as you possibly can, right? Because you want to have enough money, like Caleb says, save now to save your butt later. The more you save now, it'll help you in the long run, because if your savings and your emergency fund is in a good position, then you can start transferring that money into investing, put that money into different investments that you want to put that money in. Because like Caleb also said about investing, about compound interest, if you start earlier, whatever money you put in earlier, that's going to compound, and that's only going to build and grow more and more later on down the line. So
So,
go ahead, Caleb.
Caleb, Niles, I have a question. So here's my concern for me, and maybe it's just all in my head. I know I need to get out of my head sometime, but that's the psychology in me. Um, I'm just gonna say, is it too late for me as far as saving? Um,
No,
it,
but go
I
ahead.
just, excuse me. When you're talking about saving and all of this, it's like, okay, is it too late for me to at some point to maybe have enough cushion of a nest for me getting ready to in about 4 years, if not sooner, but I'm aiming for 4 years to retire.
Caleb, you want to get into this one?
Man, it's never too late to start saving. Each and every month, you got a budget, you got a paycheck, so you can always save some of that paycheck, regardless. Now, will it be an astronomical amount? Like if you start at 22, no, it's not going to be like that. But if you start somewhere, that's where a lot of people mess up. You have to just start somewhere. You can't just like if you're not saving, what else are you doing with the money? You're spending it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what you have to look at it as, Dr. J. You don't want to just say, hey, I'm too old to save. Let me continue to spend the money. You got
Right.
people that you got behind you. You got
Yes.
grandkids. You
Yes.
got daughters and so you know what I mean? You got
Hmm.
family. So that's what we have to get out of our mindset as our people just in general. We got people that we gotta leave stuff behind to. So yeah,
Okay.
you might not get the luxury of spending it, but you gotta have that. I left a legacy behind for my young ones.
Okay.
I left a stepping stool so they don't have to go through what you went through, your parents went through, what our grandparents went through. It's been a never ending cycle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
There we
I
Yeah.
go.
get it.
I
Thank
say
you.
Just like
I say
Caleb
Derek.
said.
I wanted to
Go
just touch real quick on Dr. J. I'm glad that you brought that up, is because There's a lot of our listeners, and there might be a lot of viewers out there that's listening that's in the, in that 40 plus age range, 50 plus age range, and that they don't have a savings. What I'm going to suggest,
True.
Dr. J, and we talked about this many of times, break down the number that you understand. If I told you to save $1,000, you're not going to understand
No,
$1,000
you
because
explain that.
very few times you had $1,000 cash in your hand. So you don't understand that number. And then also, I just want to suggest, Dr. J, it's just like paying tithes, except that you putting that
Yeah.
tithe,
There you
you're putting that tithe
Mm-hmm.
in your savings account.
hey.
I
So you take
understand that. Yep.
right,
Okay.
you take that 80%, 80% goes towards your bills, 10% goes in your savings, 10% goes to the church. You
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
start that
sir.
pattern. Start
Yep.
that
I
pattern.
get it.
See, we make the number so big we don't understand it.
Yeah.
So if we're working with
Understand it.
$1,000, watch this, Dr. J. If I give you $1,000, 800 goes towards your bills.
Mm-hmm.
$100 goes towards. No, I'm sorry, 10%. Right. $100 goes towards your savings, and $100 goes through the church house.
Right.
The
Then
ties.
you understand it.
Yeah.
But if I said, well, Dr. J, I want you to save 30% of into your savings, you're not going to understand that number because that 30% is like 300 something dollars. And you're going to go, Gary, I don't got no $300, but you got
Right.
$100
Yeah.
because when every Sunday or when you're watching whoever you're sowing it to every Sunday, when you write that check or you cash apping or you giveifying and you do the exact same thing, giveify to this church
Yeah.
10%. Let me open up my app for my bank. Let me go ahead 10% in savings, and you just get into that pattern. You get into it.
Wow. Okay.
Me and Caleb and Niles, we're going to get together because at the first of the year, I got a challenge, and I'm going to. I wanted to do it this year, but the Lord didn't push it out to me, and He didn't tell me to put it in motion. I know why now is because I need the backing and I need the help of Caleb and Niles. But watch, Dr. J, you're going to make. We're going to show you how to save $10,000 next year in 2021 or
Oh.
2022
Oh my
by the
God.
starting in January and we're going to end
Yes,
in
ma'am.
December 31st. You're going to have $10,000 saved.
I'm ready. I want
So
to learn. Yeah. I
yes,
want to learn.
go
I
ahead,
love
Niles.
And
y'all.
that's
Oh my
exactly what we're doing
God.
here.
I'm so excited.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm
that's what I'm
excited.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. We back to
That's
it,
all we want to
Niles.
do.
Next slide.
Okay, so let's see. The next strategy, the final strategy, is the envelope budget strategy. So the envelope budget strategy, you have physical envelopes. So when you get paid, go to the bank and you actually cash out your entire check. You put the money that you're allotting for each expense into each envelope, right? So this is like a physical representation of budgeting. So you can really see, and it makes people not want to spend the money because they're like, okay, I got this much money left. I really want to save it because I can actually see it. And in the account, it's like you can just swipe and you're not really thinking twice about it. When it's actually in your hand, you're like, okay, I got this much money left. Do I really need to spend this cash on it? It makes people think twice about going ahead and spending that money. But you spend the money and put the cash in each category as you need it. And when the cash runs out from that category and from that envelope, you're done. You're done for the month in that category. So it forces you to physically see the money and having to actually pay it out as the bills come due and as you're paying your expenses. It really makes you kind of second guess if you really need it or not. So this, I believe, is a really good way to teach budgeting to your kids, teenagers that you're trying to teach how to budget, because having this category for I want to go this place, I want to go that place, I want to go out to eat. If they have a job, teach them to save, teach them to put money towards whatever they want to purchase. And then the rest goes towards whatever bills and expenses that they may have, or if they need money for certain things that they pull from their cash envelopes. So these are just three strategies that I've looked at and I've liked and felt are necessary to explain. There are many different ways to budget. You can have a completely separate bank account for the things that you want, right? So you have your personal account for your savings and for your bills, and then you have your separate account for your for your wants. So that'll get help to separate the money to really you can see, okay, I can't once I move money over to my savings or it's in that account for my personal expenses and my bills, then I can't touch it. I can't move it over to this account for the things that I want to do, right? So there are many different ways that you can go about budgeting. Like I said, it's like a workout plan. There are many different workout plans and diets and things that you can do to lose weight. There are many different options that you can choose from that'll help you to reach your financial goals. It's just finding one and it's sticking to it and being disciplined enough to stick with it when times get tough, or you're feeling motivated because you don't want to go or because you can't go out and you can't do certain things. It's tough during those times, but if you stay disciplined and stay focused on financial goals, and every once in a while look back and see, okay, I've come this far. I've increased my savings by this much. My debt's been paid down by this much. Things like that. My credit score has jumped this much. Maybe 30 points in the last couple of months. Okay, I'm doing something right. So that looking back and seeing how far you've come, it's a big part of staying motivated and keeping yourself going when you feel tough. Feel the times are tough. So, Caleb, I gotta ask you, what budget strategy do you like for businesses and as a business owner?
As a business owner, I would say we use probably the zero one, because for me, when we budget inside of, for example, buying materials and stuff like that, I want to find the best material for the best price, but going to I take the three options. I'll say first, does this material that we got, does it have a financing option? So I'll say in the side of the fix and flip business, you want to be able to stretch your money as far as that is can. So when you're budgeting, I personally like to say, all right, I have a Lowe's card, I have a Home Depot card, I have these type of credit cards that I go and buy the materials off of. Now, I also say, hey, if I want certain type of finishes like toilets or bathroom vanities, I say, hey, these stores might not have it or they're too high priced. And so I say, okay, I might have to go to a Habitat for Humanity or Asset Recycle or some of those things with lower priced items when building into the house. Because when fixing and flipping, you want to produce good quality homes, but you also don't want to pay top dollar trying to put them together. So, when coming at that, we try to make sure we're only spending a certain amount on plumbing, a certain amount on electrical, a certain amount on HVAC, and seeing those type of things. And so, also when it comes into budgeting in my field, we have to take three different type of estimates to create a budget. So we'll take Joe Schmo over here that might have a low estimate. We'll take a higher company over here that has a high estimate, and then we find a middle one. And so we put those into our budget, and we try to say, hey, which one fits the best. And so that's what we kind of use for ourselves. But I would like to start using that 50, 30, 20 after we start passing out like revenues and expenses for myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to
So
I want to
go ahead.
say, um, my business portion of it, um, I didn't know what to call it, but now it's the 50, 30, 20 budget. And I just started doing it and I didn't even know that it even had a name to it. So
Yep.
I'm like, I'm looking at 50, 30, 20. I'm like, hold up. That sounds about right. But that's if I look at the 21 years as an entrepreneur, 13 years as the computer guy, definitely, 50% goes towards your needs, then 30% what you want, and then 20% to savings. Um, that's where it's very important. And I guess Two, we got to know what the needs and the wants are. Um, there's what do you need and what do you really want.
Yep.
And I think right now I probably hit at what I can't even say the number. Lord have mercy. I'll be that
Think of
old.
it as you're blessed. So now it makes it easier.
I'll be 46, and I can say that my wants have went up more than my needs, and that's
Mhm,
just because I'm satisfied.
mhm,
I'm satisfied with life. So I think my wants probably went up a little bit more than what my needs are. As long as my family's taken care of. But I want to see other
Yep.
people be blessed. I want to see other people just live the happy life. Everybody knows my favorite scriptures, Jeremiah 29:11.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
I take a look, that word prosper, prosper, prosper. It's huge to me. A lot of people know that I bought a boat and I named it Prosperity, um, because that word means something to me. You cannot tell me, and I don't. There's not a preacher out here that can convince me that God did not want you to live unhappy.
Mhm, mhm.
He don't. He wants you to have the best of the best, um, which is back in the days when they was building the old church. You seen a lot of the royal purple. You seen a lot of gold. You seen a lot of silver because um, God wants you to live the best of the best. He doesn't want you to live in poverty, and he doesn't want you to live in unhappiness. He wants you to be trust in him. Trust him that he will get you where you want to get to, and what his vision is.
Well,
So
Gary, you know that in the Word of God it said, I come," meaning Him, that you might have life and you have it more abundantly.
yeah,
And so that's His purpose. That's self-explanatory. That anybody can understand, if you're going to look at it in the faith-based realm, that that's what his word says, that I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. So it's not that that he came just for us to be here, just to survive, or just to barely make it. No, he said, so if he said it, you can believe it.
yeah,
And then, like you said, Jeremiah 29:11, he said that, where he talks about that he come, that I know the plan that I have for you.
right,
It's a plan of good and not evil. It's for a future and a hope. So all of those combining together can make one believe and know that God's word is true, that he wants us to be prosperous. He wants
yes,
us to have and live life in abundance. And so, that's definitely true. But I also wanted to jump on with you guys, Niles, when you were talking about the different strategies of budgeting. I was doing the envelope. And at my other job where I was, there was a budgeting, a finance person there, and she actually sat down with me, and I still have them, all these envelopes. And we wrote, like, okay, how much you get paid a week or month, whatever you bring home. And then the other envelope, how much was your car note? When was it due? This and that and the other. And that actually helped me understand, um, the budgeting. I had never heard of it before, and but in doing that, it helped. I still have those envelopes. I don't use them as much now, but yet now, after talking with you guys and seeing, that, yeah, this can help me even the more, that I'm gonna go back to it, because I depended on those envelopes. I literally
Mhm.
depended on those envelopes. And when I looked at it, now looking back at it, she did have a portion of, because I told her, she she was Caucasian and she didn't really understand about tithing, and she was trying to, fix up like a week when I didn't have to tithe. And I say, hey, that's not an option. An option of not tithing is not an option. So you need to figure something else out. And she says, well, but I said, not an option. So if you can't figure that in, then maybe I need to talk to somebody else. And so she saw that I wasn't going to budge on that. So she figured out something that, every time I got paid, that, okay, 10%, was going. And it did make a difference. It really and truly did make a difference that I had an envelope that said savings. And so whatever I had left over, she would divide that between my savings and some of my entertainment. And that worked.
And I wanted to add, because my mom just texted me. I don't know why she's not typing this stuff on screen. My wife, my beautiful wife, and my mama, they just, I don't know, they can't follow the directions or something. My mom said, very few people don't look at their payroll deductions. It's smart to review them occasionally and ask yourself, do you need them? Voluntary deductions, various insurance categories, etc. And my mom's 100% right on there. Look at your payroll deductions. And this is another thing, Dr. J, when it comes to savings. If you can't touch it, you won't spend it. Most of the time on when you do payroll deductions or you set up, because everybody's doing that automatic the deposit for payroll. Usually you can set up two different accounts on it. Usually you can set up two different bank accounts on your automatic deduction. What happens is you set up that 10% on another bank or another account because it'll never come to you.
You can't even see it.
Right. And another thing I tell people who are who loves to spend money or is having a hard time savings or saving money, get you an accountability partner that you could trust and add them onto the account and take your name, put your name on it too, but make it a non-withdrawal account, which means you can't take the money out of the bank without their signature.
Mm-hmm.
So both of you guys have to go into the bank together to take the money out. So there's accounts that you can open up like that that will hold you accountable to that. So that's just something else I just wanted to throw in there, Miles.
Awesome.
Absolutely right. It's absolutely right. Because if you have an account that you have the money going to, if you have to physically go up there, you're less likely to be like, okay, I don't really need that because you don't really want to spend money. But yeah, that's absolutely right. So now we'll go ahead and look at the budgeting steps really quick. So there's about 5 steps that I came up with for steps to start budgeting. And that first step is determine your financial goals. Determine what you want to do, what you want to get out of budgeting, right? So like we said, if you have a workout goal, you're like, I want to lose weight. Okay, there's a budget for that. So if you determine that you want to increase your savings, then there's a way to budget to help to increase your savings. There's a way to budget to help to increase your credit score, pay down debt, anything that you want to do the budget for, but you got to know what your financial goals are first before getting started with anything else. So after you figure out what your goals are, then you'll go ahead and you'll look at your total income. So you'll look at your total monthly income and get that number. So this is all of what you have to work with to meet those goals. So after you got your total income, then you'll go ahead and you'll analyze all of your expenses. So before creating expense categories and determining amounts for those categories, I would recommend looking at the past because your spending history will tell you where you spend the most money, where you need the most money to go to. So it'll help you determine what those numbers should look like, right? So what I did was through the Mint app, I looked back at all of like the past 2 years of my expenses. and I would, get totals for each categories, look at averages, and kind of get okay, I can get this much money to groceries. I can do this much money in entertainment. I don't necessarily need this much money for going out to the bars. So I can shrink that down a little bit. It'll highlight areas where you're spending way too much money, and it'll highlight areas where, okay, I'm doing good here, so I can keep this number and go with that, right? So along with that analyzation, you'll go ahead and you'll separate out your fixed expenses from your variable expenses. So your fixes are your mortgage, car note, utilities, your phone, your internet, your savings, because you should be putting a amount in your savings every month or every check. And then there's your variable expenses. So these are things like your hobbies, your expenses for going out, getting your haircut, nails, all this other stuff. So these are all variable expenses. They fluctuate and they'll change month to month. And then you'll break them out into categories, and you'll break them out into two: needs and things that you want. So like we said, the needs are things that they have to get paid. You have to pay these bills. That'll hurt your credit score if you don't, or you'll be in bad standing with credit bureaus. And then your wants, these are things that you want to do. These are things that bring joy. They're fun to do, but you don't necessarily need them. You do this because you want to. So you separate these. You look at where you have to have your money going. You look at where you can find some savings, save some money, and put that towards your financial goals. And then you'll come up with numbers for each category. So you add up the numbers for all of these expense categories. And the total for the expense category should be at or below your total income for the month. If it's below your income for the month, then good, you have a little bit more money to put towards your financial goals, whether that be saving, paying down debt, whatever that may be. If it's above your income total, then you need to go back and rework those numbers and decrease some amounts in some of those categories to get that below, right? So if you're above your income amount, then that means you're living above means. So we're going to have to decrease that a little bit to get you to a number that you can reasonably live off of and comfortably meet all of your spending and saving goals, right? So once you create that budget for your lifestyle, then you'll go ahead and track it throughout the month, right? So as you're spending, if you have the app, it'll go ahead and it'll increase your expense amount throughout the month, and it'll keep you on track to your spending goals. And if you see some trends to where you're not actually spending as much money as you thought you were going to be, then you can go ahead and shrink that budget down, put that money towards your whatever savings goals you have. So these are the steps that I kind of came up with. It's really easy to follow, and you can just kind of track it throughout the month. Notice any trends that you want to notice, and it'll help you in the long run to save money because you're actually being more cognizant of what you're spending your money on.
Wow. Niles, you good. You got 2 minutes left. We got 2 minutes left in the show. I know there's more, but stay tuned. I promise you, myself, Caleb, and Niles is going to work out something here very, very soon. And we're just going to keep going at this strong. Before I forget, Dr. J, because I know that we are getting ready to go off the air, we want to tell all of our listeners, July 24th, Dr. J.
Yes, July 24th.
July 24th. Just mark your calendar. We will put out a flyer. We will have our first live show publicly since our comeback.
Yes.
So we will get more details July 25th right here in Indianapolis, Indiana. We will have our first live public show since our comeback. I am so excited about that. We're going to have all types of stuff. So just watch our Facebook page. If you guys have not done so, please share Morning Coffee with the Word with your friends. Send them over to elevatelife.tv. That's all you got to do. That's our YouTube channel, elevatelife.tv. Send them over there. We are not going to stop. We're going to keep bringing good information, good teachings, good word. because we want to inspire everyone. We want to inspire. I'm so happy, even with Dr. J, as she is the elder of the Morning Coffee with Her Word family, and also Elevate Life TV family. She's being inspired.
Yes, most definitely.
So, I'm so excited that we could touch all age groups. Again, Niles, again, Caleb, we thank you so much.
I love you guys. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
You guys are the best. We will be in touch soon. But Dr. J, if you could please pray us out. I will see you, Dr. J, next Saturday. Niles and Caleb, I will talk to you soon.
All right.
Father God, it's once again we come to you thanking you and praising you for another day. We thank you, oh God, for the lives of Niall and Caleb, oh God. We thank you for the knowledge, the wisdom, oh God, the impartation, oh God, that they're willing to share with people, not just people of color, but all people, oh God. In the name of Jesus. God, I ask that you would open up every door that needs to be open to them, close every door that needs to be closed. I ask, oh God, that you would put them in the path of people they need to know to help them fulfill their destiny in life. And God, I know that you're able, I know that you can, and I know that you will. So I'm just going to say thank you in advance, oh God. We thank you for our listeners. We thank you for every platform that we're able to share on. God, we thank you, but we don't take it because we're so good. But God, we know that you're able and that you can. And for that, we say thank you and amen. It's in your son Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
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 You're listening to Morning Coffee with the Word.
I'm Dr. J.
And I am the president. We'll be back next Saturday at 10 a.m. Thank you to all of our viewers.
Bye-bye. Bless
we love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's go. Yeah.